do what's called just checking, like getting a pulse on your weight loss. Let's get a pulse on your weight loss. Okay, let's see, where are we? What is going on? And the reason I want to do this is because I've noticed a trend. I've noticed a trend in my own personal weight loss journey and all of the clients, men and women, that I've trained. And I've noticed that during season changes, there are some weight loss trends that tend to pop up. Okay, so you know, when there's winter to spring, spring to summer, summer to fall, fall back into winter. There's these trends that are happening in people's weight loss, okay? And because summer is around the corner, I thought this would be a perfect time for this. We are in like a transition phase, right? From spring till summer. And now, this is the trend that I have noticed over the years, okay? There are kind of two types of people when it comes to the summertime, okay? There are two types of people when it comes to summertime. And those two types of people are, number one, they are either like they thrive in the summertime, they enjoy the hot weather, they're outside, they're active so much that they forget about eating all the time. They're in like less clothing, shorts, tank tops, bathing suits. That motivates them to stay on track. Even the heat sometimes doesn't make them feel super hungry and can curb cravings. So that's the first trend that I noticed. Either you're that person, you're number one, or you tend to be number two, okay? So the summertime has the opposite effect on you. The hangouts, there's more socializing, barbecues, birthdays, weddings, drinking, ice cream cones, beach snacks, all that side of things, where you tend to actually gravitate towards climbing up the scale over the summertime, okay? So there's a one and there's a two. This is a very popular trend. This is when you notice the biggest spikes in weight gain, when it's either spring to summer or fall to winter, right? Those transitions are the biggest spikes in weight gains that I've noticed over the years. You know, the springs and the falls are usually the biggest weight drop, because we are either getting ready for summer, we're freaking out about our bikinis, right? Or school starting and we finally have a routine back, right? So right now, about to transition into summer, or future pacing when we're about to transition into winter, this is when most people are in danger of putting on weight, okay? So really quickly, I want you to think about your weight history. Okay, your weight history. So the past couple summers, so last summer, the summer before that, the summer before that, what is your trend? Are you generally a number one, where you thrive, you're not focused around food, you either tend to maintain weight or lose weight during the summer, or are you a number two, right? The socializing amps up, you let yourself go a little bit because it's vacation time. Are you a one or are you a two? Write it in the comments. All right, so thinking back, when did you gain the most weight along your weight history? Most likely summer or winter, let me know. Most of the time, it's 50-50 for people who triggered summer or people who triggered winter. So the reason I bring this up is because, I mean, we have to have our defenses up, right? We have to be ready for all of our triggers. We have to be ready for all the temptations. The biggest line of defense is always going to be awareness. Right? You can't help battle anything if you don't know that it exists, right? And did you know that there are season trends? Probably not. Did you know that you have trends in the season? Probably not, right? Or not to the degree we're going to dive into today. So knowledge is power. The first line of defense and the most powerful is just being aware that there's something there that needs to be checked on, okay? So having said that, moving into our summer season, okay? If you are somebody who is going to be socializing a lot, if you're going to be somebody who's around more temptations, more triggers, or you are just at this point in your journey struggling with your weight, wherever we are, okay? Summer is going to be a trigger, okay? The next couple months are going to be a trigger or more tempting to you in other ways, okay? So you can either think of this as your summer trigger, or you can think about this as going into winter, depending which one's worse for you. But here's the thing, okay? If you're a one, that's awesome. You're probably going to be okay this season, probably not in the winter. If you're a two, Your goal this season is not to turn into a number one. That is not your goal, okay? Same when winter rolls around. Your job is not to be a number one. That will never work. You are going against your nature that has been ingrained in you for years. You have a trend. You're going to follow that trend. You cannot change a trend on a flip of a dime, okay? So anybody who knows that season changes are a trigger, or now that you're realizing it, you need to go in with a plan. And your plan is not do the exact opposite. That's not going to work, okay? That's the first thing. Second thing, what I find a lot of the times is when you make your main goal the end goal, we tend to have a loss of steps to get there. And we tend to feel overwhelmed a little bit quicker. We tend to feel lost a little bit quicker. And then we run out of options and our plateaus last longer. Our cheating and our binging lasts longer than it needs to. So what I mean by that is, if your goal for the summer, let's say I want to lose 10 pounds over the summer, okay? That is an end goal. Do you really have control over what the scale is going to say by the end of the month? No, you just don't. You don't, right? You have control over the habits you put in over the summer months. What happens at the end when you weigh yourself, that's up in the air, but you can control what you do every month. Same thing on a test, right? You can't plan to get an A. You can't hope to get an A. You can study like an A+ student would, but you don't know what's on that test. You have no idea what's on that test, right? So same idea here. So first thing, if anybody has thought about their summer goals, or they started to put these things in their head that they want to achieve, is it an end goal, or can it be reverse engineered? That's the goal here. And we're going to talk about how we're going to reverse engineer your season goals, okay? In particular, the summer coming up, okay? So let's check that pulse. First question I want to ask you, how many workouts have you gotten this month? How many workouts have you gotten this month? And I don't mean, going for a stroll to kill time or gardening. I mean, how much pre-planned time have you set aside to get a sweat on? How many times? Write in the comments. Did you sweat 3 times, 5 times? How much this month? 0 times? It doesn't matter. We got to start somewhere. So write that down. How many times did you actually work out this month? Pre-planned sweat sessions. That is the first thing that you need to know. If you don't know that number, you're too obsessed with the scale. You got to have other measuring tools. Cool. Now, next question. How many times have you meal prepped this month? So meal prep meaning pre-planning meals, pre-thinking about meals, or actually pre-cooking meals. Just pre-planning food. How many times this month have you pre-planned your food instead of spur of the moment treats, spur of the moment meals? How many times? Write that in the comments or write it down in your notes. We got to keep track. Next question. How many days this month have you gone outside? Not outside walking your dog because you have to, or mowing the lawn because you have to. How many times have you actually set aside and said, I need to go outside to get some fresh air? How many times have you done that this month? Write it in the comments. Write it in the comments. How many times have you actively decided to get fresh air? Not because you had to, not because you had to do a chore, because you want some fresh air. Next question. How many bad days did you have this month? Off days. Okay, not neutral days. Neutral days are fine. How many off days did you have? Unhealthy, don't feel good about it, disappointed in myself days. How many this month? Take a second and think. Get the number right. You can always go back to. How many days, right? So there you go. That's the fitness and health side of things, right? That is what you measure. That is what you can reverse engineer. So here's what we do. So say you worked out 4 times this month. Guess what your goal for this season is next month? 5. How easy is that? How easy is that? You meal prepped 4 times? Okay. Meal prep 4 times again and have one really good free meal day. Measurable, tangible. plannable, if that's a word, plannable. And bad days, right? You had 6 bad days this month. Guess what next month? 5. It's that simple. Instead of saying I lose 5 pounds this month, I'm gonna have 5 bad days this month. You see how the tables turn there? That pressure is off. That is something you can measure and look at every day. If you check the scale every day, that's an outcome. It's not an action. It's an outcome. You can't measure an outcome, right? Bad days, good days, all of that. So that is what your goal, and that is how you should be planning. If all you have in your mind right now was a number goal for the next month, time to change your thinking, okay? Add more. There's so much more to look forward to in this journey than just the number. The number's awesome. It's awesome. Don't take that away from it, but there needs to be more in order to appreciate this and build that relationship with the scale in a more healthy way and not be so obsessed with it and not be so affected by it, okay? So then we can take it to the mindset side of things. How can we reverse engineer the mindset? So next question, how many hard conversations have you had this month? Either with people in your household, maybe family that you don't live with, maybe yourself. How many hard conversations have you had with yourself or friends and family this month? Write it down in the comments. If the answer is 0, you've probably been plateauing lately because they correlate. It's crazy. Weight and this hard conversation, to do both requires the same skill set. It's crazy. So how many hard conversations, right? How many hours of quality entertainment, quality content have you gotten this month? What are you consuming the most of? Funny cat videos on YouTube? Mindlessly scrolling through Instagram? Or are you studying for something? Are you learning a new skill? Are you watching a documentary? Do you listen to motivational, inspirational podcasts? Right? Ask yourself, how much beneficial content have I taken in this month? Write in the comments. How many hours do you think? Do you listen to 1 podcast a week, 1 episode every day of a documentary? Like quality, educational, inspirational content. That's tangible. That can be planned into your schedule. You can't write down, I'm going to lose 1 pound today. You can't plan that in your schedule, right? Excellent. And next question, how many things are you currently measuring? What are your measuring tools in all areas of your life? So we got your weight, you're checking your weight, that's your health area. What about your marriage? Have you measured your marriage lately? Are you having enough quality intimacy, quality time, good communication? Do you have scales? Are you communicating? Have you talked about that lately? Are you measuring that? What about your career? Have you asked for a raise lately? Are you due for a promotion? Are you producing more quality work? Are you taking on more responsibility? Are you taking on less responsibility? How are you measuring what your version of success is in marriage, family, career, weight? What's not measured can't be managed. Measuring is managing. You can't just be, you've never seen somebody who's super fit and healthy and had a failing career, a failing marriage. It just doesn't happen. To truly be healthy means everything's in balance, which means if you're working on one thing, the efforts need to be spread out. And again, if there's no direct focused effort, we don't know if anything's working. So we stop trying. So maybe you've stopped trying in an area, or maybe just not added extra effort. Maybe you are stagnating in your career because you're happy, right? Maybe you haven't checked in on your marriage lately because you think it's fine, right? You can't just measure your weight, okay? You got to measure all areas. What are those tools that you can use for those areas? That's a question you have to ask yourself, okay? So going into the summer season with a goal of losing 20 pounds is not going to play out. The only thing it will get you is disappointment, okay? If you can reverse engineer the goals that you set, that's how you know you've done a good goal, right? So let's take a second and set our summer season goals, all right? Summer season goals, workouts. Realistically, ladies, how many workouts are you going to be getting next month? Write it down. Let's do it right now. We're doing it live. We're doing a realistic goal setting. And if you reach these, the number will go down. This is how you reverse engineer a goal. So working out next month, what are we going to commit to? If you did 7 this month, you're doing 8 this month. Write your number. You got to know it. Write it down. And that's how you can hit it. And then you can reverse engineer it a step, right? So if you say 8 a month, that's 2 a week, right? And then if it's 2 a week, you can say, okay, am I going to do that Tuesdays and Thursdays? Okay, then take it a step further, 2 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Then take it a step further, put it on the fridge so everybody knows not to bother you, right? You can, everything can be reverse engineered to one small, minute action that does not take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and there's zero pressure on that one little effort. That's how you compile big goals. So this is a habit we need to get into. Second thing, meal prepping. Okay, so how many times are you gonna meal prep? If you've been failing to meal prep, how many times are you gonna do it this month, next month? So if you only did it 0 times this month, it's 1 time next month. If you've done 4 and that works for you, okay, what are we gonna do different? Are you gonna experiment with a new recipe? Are you gonna start using the barbecue now that it's warm up? What are we gonna do different with the meal prep? Okay, how are we gonna measure that success? Okay, next thing, bad days. How many bad days are we gonna hold ourselves accountable to next month? Write that number down, put it on a wall. This is the sheet you should be referring to every time you check your number, you check the scale every Sunday or whenever you check. And if it's not where you want it to be, you refer to that sheet and it's gonna tell you exactly why it wasn't what you wanted it to be, right? And if the number is good and you refer to that sheet, you're gonna have the checks beside everything you were supposed to. And it all makes sense, no guessing. So these are the goals that you need to be setting, right? Hard conversations, ladies. Who do you need to have a hard conversation with? There's always one person that you've probably been avoiding because it's really uncomfortable. Maybe it's yourself, right? Who are you going to plan to have a hard conversation with, right? So plan generally, let's pick a week. Whoever you need to have a conversation with, pick a week. And guess what? You have a countdown. You can, it sounds silly, but write down notes, right? When you're in an uncomfortable situation, you forget things. Your voice shakes. You get emotional. I don't know about you, but I'm a bit better now. Whenever I had to have confrontation, I would instantly cry. I wasn't sad. I wasn't angry, I wasn't anything, but the second I had it, I would just, tears would come down and my voice would shake because I was so uncomfortable making other people uncomfortable just telling the truth, right? So it just takes practice. Speak your truth even if your voice shakes. Set it in your schedule, ladies. Be accountable. Set it in your schedule, take notes, ask that person to step aside and just start the conversation. Doesn't have to change anything. You pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone translate over to your health journey and pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone there, okay? Quality entertainment. Couple ways we could approach this one. Number one, do we need to, did I watch, 10 hours of reality TV this month? I'm gonna watch nine next month. Or did I only watch 1 hour or listen to 1 hour of an inspirational podcast per week? I'm gonna listen to 2 hours every week next month, right? So either decrease negative or increase positive. You get to choose whatever is less pressure for you, okay? And then you're measuring, okay? So you guys are all pretty good at measuring your weight. We all know how to do that. That's the easy part. You just need a scale and a measuring tape and you're good. What about the other areas? So pick one other area that you feel you've neglected. So tell me in the comments, do you think you're neglecting an area? Or maybe not really neglecting, just not giving love to, giving effort, energy, and attention to. Marriage, friendships, children, school, work, hobbies, self, exactly. So where's the area you are neglecting? Okay, reverse engineer it. What am I gonna do next month to work on that? Do you see how that works, ladies? When in doubt, reverse engineer. It is the best tool ever. It helps with everything. It helps with marriage troubles. You say, what's the problem? What's causing it? What else could be causing it? And then you just pick one action. One small action, reverse, 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 till you find the smallest action for you to do. And it's so easy. Sometimes it's just bring them a glass of water in bed. It's all they need sometimes. Same thing with your weight loss. Sometimes it's just, oh, I have to go for a 5-minute walk today. That's it. That's doable. No pressure. Go walk once around your block, pass out on your bed, right? So that's the tool I need you ladies to take away from today. Reverse engineering is the key. Season changes could be triggers. You have your own season trends. You have your own season trends, whether they follow the majority or not. So take a quick second and ask yourself, what are your season trends? So is it the winter where you put your most weight on? Is it going into the summer? Is it all year round? What is it? What do you think, ladies? Based on your whole experience of when you were conscious of your weight, when you became conscious of, I don't like my body, I could see some changes. When you became conscious, from that point, what seems to be your season trends? Winter weight gain, exactly. So this same thing would apply when the winter comes around, right? It's cold, we got comfort food, we're wearing baggier clothes so we don't feel the waistband getting tighter, right? It just sneaks up on us all of a sudden. Stretchy pants are our best friends. They always treat us kind. But same idea, right? I want to lose 20 pounds over the winter. That's not tangible, right? Could you do it? Absolutely. But saying I want to lose 20 pounds, there is zero idea of where to take that. And there is zero accountability, there's zero path, and there's zero arrow. There's no arrow to point you back in the right direction. You have no idea what you're doing right or doing wrong, and that's the worst part of weight loss. If you're not seeing results and you don't know why, guess what? You will not continue. Why would you? You're putting all this effort in and seeing nothing for it, which I'm sure we've all been there. I've been there before. If I didn't see any results, I was like, screw this. Screw this. I'm working out like 7 days a week, killing myself on a treadmill, going for runs, doing X amount of workouts, and I'm not seeing results. Same thing. So it needs to be tangible and measurable. That is going to be your best friend, and that's also a really important key to have a good relationship with your scale. The scale is the outcome. The scale is like marking yourself on the test, right? If you lost weight, it's an A+ because you studied properly. You put in the proper work. In the week you studied, right? If you got a B, guess what? You missed your numbers. You missed your numbers throughout the week, right? Go back, reevaluate your numbers. Were they realistic numbers? Yes? Awesome. No? Redo them. If they were realistic, okay, how can I reshape my life and my lifestyle so that hitting those numbers is easier? Okay? Continuing to redo those numbers is like us just grasping at straws, right? If you've set 2 workouts in a month, and month after month after month passes, and you can't get those 2 workouts, well, don't start saying, okay, I'm gonna try 2 again. I'm gonna try 2 again. Something's not working, right? So you need to then stop touching your numbers. Your numbers are fine. Numbers are easy. Just go 1 above or 1 under and get creative. Easy peasy. Don't stop playing with the numbers. Start playing with your lifestyle. There comes a point where you can't play with numbers anymore. Usually for the first 6 months of your weight loss, you can play around with numbers because you got some motivation left and you're excited with all the results. But usually the next 6 months, when you've been in it for a while, when you've hit a couple bumps, when the weight loss isn't as fast or as drastic, we try to grasp at the numbers and change the numbers to what we used to be able to do, right? That's not gonna work. At that point, if you find you're plateauing and you're not hitting numbers, I'm not talking about scale numbers, I'm talking about tasks and habits. If you're not hitting those, something external needs to change to make those numbers easier. Does that make sense, ladies? Awesome. So really quickly, ladies, I want to know your takeaways, all right? Watch your takeaways. Let me know kind of what you're going to do with this information. Are you going to prepare yourself for a good season and reverse engineer some goals? Did that give you a good idea? Did that shift your perspective on how to look at results? All this fun stuff. Let me know. Comment down below. I'm going to post it in the Facebook group as well, so you can comment there. And if you take anything away from this, it's the number is just an outcome. Okay? You have no control over the grade that you get. You have no control. Sometimes teachers are mean and they grade you hard, so you got no control over the grade. Shout out to all the lovely teachers on the call. There's lots of you. Not you ones, I'm talking about other mean ones. But yeah, I mean, you can't let that be a reaction if you haven't reverse engineered other goals. That you can't be disappointed if you only have a number. At the end of the week, if you only have a number, of course you're going to be either excited or sad, of course. But if you hit your numbers, that's it. That's all you had to do. Then the next week, work at hitting your numbers again. Set monthly numbers, reevaluate on a monthly basis. Okay, were they good numbers? Yes, increase. Were they bad numbers? Reassess. What about my lifestyle? Moving forward. This makes it so much easier, so less stressful. If you're thinking, especially if you're the type of person who just sits there and thinks about all the things they have to do and how it's overwhelming. I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, so you end up choosing nothing. You're like, I'm gonna chill out, it's causing me too much stress, I'll start next week, right? If you're the type of person that gets really overwhelmed from all the tasks that you have to get done, reverse engineering little tasks makes it a whole lot less scary and a whole lot more manageable. What's not measured is not managed. Everything in life needs to have something to compare to. Otherwise, we don't know we are going in the right direction. And what is the point of doing anything if you are not growing and you are not progressing in every single area? What is the point of staying in your career if you are not fulfilled anymore? How are you measuring your fulfillment? What is the point of staying in your marriage if you are not fulfilled anymore? How are you measuring your fulfillment? How can you work on it? Ask yourself in every aspect, weight loss and all, and your perspective will change. Your perspective will change. Ryan and I, this concept of like auditing and reviewing and measuring, we do it with our relationship too. We have criteria that we check. We're like, have we been meeting this? Have we been meeting? No, you've been falling short here. I'm not getting what I need from this relationship. We do that. That's okay. You do it with your weight loss. Do it with your family. Do it with your friends. Collision causes connection. If you don't have constant collisions with the people you love, you will never get to know them on a deep level, and the connection's not worth it. The connection's not worth it if you go through something with somebody. You know those people who you've gone through shit with? They're the people that are ride or dies. They stick around, right? But the people who, small talk, surface level, always have fun, never really anything serious, sure, they're great, but they come and go. They come and go. And you guys are in it for the long haul. So everything is long-term thinking. Okay, ladies? So make sure today you write down your season goals. So from June till end of August or whatever season you want to work on, write down your season goals, write them on your fridge, and then just start working at them. And the number will follow. All right, ladies?